Hello, everybody. Uh, Pleased to be here and to offer an exciting opportunity to you as the senior design team. We are the Nebraska Strategic Ag Coalition, and we are hoping that you will help us build a web platform to build a bridge between farmers and the resources that they need. My name is Rachel Whitehair. I'm the Director of Innovation and Stewardship for the Nebraska Corn Board, and also the facilitator for the Nebraska Strategic Ag Coalition. And I'll pass it over to Nick to introduce himself.
I'm Nick with the Nature Conservancy in Nebraska, member of the Nebraska Strategic Ag Coalition. So we're a coalition of agricultural and conservation agencies that have come together to make sure that we are working in concert and that we are all working together to support our producers on the ground, our farmers, in their quest to produce the food and feed and fiber for our nation and our world, while also addressing their ability to support sustainable practices on the ground. So you can see here from the list of our organizations, we range from the public sector, from local organizations such as the natural resource districts, to our state and our federal partners, commodity groups, nonprofits, and our University of Nebraska as well, including private enterprises that are helping steward forth agricultural practices on the ground.
So here in our state, we are an ag powerhouse. Nearly 90% of the landscape is dedicated to ag. And these farmers and ranchers across our state are constantly trying to do the best they can with the resources that they have. Legacy is a big piece of why they do what they do. And, they want to pass down that land and that business to their kids, their grandkids. And so it's really important to them that they be good stewards of our natural resources, that being the soil and the water and the air that they operate within. And so, adopting practices that helps them achieve that dream, helps them become long-term sustainable, is certainly no small task. It can be very costly, it can be very technically challenging, not to mention there are so many resources out on the landscape, and it just becomes a lot of noise for these folks to sift through. Time is certainly a very, very finite commodity for a lot of farmers and ranchers. And so that's part of our mission here, is trying to reduce the noise and streamline success for folks who want to make those sustainable on-farm changes. And so Nick will go through just a couple of what we call best management practices, some of the pieces that we are hoping we can encourage farmers to do more of.
So you see we have a couple of cool photos here. We're looking at protecting our soil, making sure we catch all the rainfall, using our irrigation efficiently, and holding on to the chemical inputs we use to grow our crops. So in these photos, you can see a mat of cover crop on the ground that's suppressing weeds and holding on to our soil and preventing erosion, and providing at times nutrients for our crops that are going to be grown. We have grass strips between our cornfields to protect the erosion potential from heavy rainfalls as they move down the slope of the field. Specifically, this photo shows a prairie planting, which also has contributions towards wildlife connectivity and habitat for upland game birds and other invertebrates that we need for pollination. But also we have technology, the efficient use of our fertilizers and our herbicides can contribute to the idea of a sustainable ag production. So this photo here shows a heat map of satellite-driven imagery tracking when a corn plant is hungry for its nitrogen fertilizer. So we have a suite of programs and things available for our producers, and that's what we're hoping to showcase for them.
So what this website is going to do is it's going to fix a real bottleneck issue that farmers are experiencing. It's just an information overload. There's a lot of programs out on the landscape to help farmers and ranchers adopt to new practices, a lot of funding to help them do it. However, all of this is in different websites, different handouts, different entities. And, with the average age of the farmer being, 50 plus, we see an issue with folks being able to access technology well, and know how to integrate these pieces and find them across the web. We also have a lot of sparse connectivity to educational events and local networks. Again, these folks are in rural communities, right? A lot of people may not know much more outside of their county. And so, having an opportunity to connect with those networks that might exist elsewhere in the state that they can lean on to find farmers and ranchers who are doing similar practices to them, if maybe their neighbors aren't, really gives them a leg up in getting these practices implemented successfully. That and, in the past few years, we've seen quite a dwindling of technical support at the local level, not only from some of our federal entities like the NRCS or the Natural Resource Conservation Service, but also amongst university extension have been spread thin in recent years. These folks do incredible work across the landscape and continue to. But for example, if an extension specialist has a 6, 7 county area to cover, they can't be everywhere at once. And there might be 100 farmers or more in that area that really need that in-person support if they're going to try a new practice. And so this website really helps them connect with those folks, connect with information, and reduce some of that workload for those sparsely settled technical experts that currently exist.
So the solution that we propose is to take the shell of a website that we have developed as a coalition and to empower it with your know-how, your knowledge, and your expertise to create a central control tower for on-farm innovation. We want this to be a one-stop shop clearinghouse for practice change support. So this is the resources and the technical advisors available for farmers. We want to have dynamic filtering so that we make sure that this contextually makes sense to each individual producer, regardless of what crop they're growing and where in Nebraska they're growing it. We want streamlined intake workflows for those data to make it accurate and fresh. We want to make sure that programs that were added a year ago are still relevant today. There's nothing more frustrating when you're looking for relevant resources and to find something that's there available to you online, but not actually available for you and your farming operation.
So here we have the build scope. Like Nick said, we have a nice base, kind of some placeholders for these 5 critical pieces, but we need your help in building them out. A cost share library that is filterable, searchable, and does some API connectivity work. A technical resource directory, so having that geotagged opportunity to see who's actually around you that you can reach out to and invite out to your farm. Producer network connection. What are they and where do they exist? And what's their contact information? How do I, as a farmer, get involved? The educational resource library. This is definitely a big one, being that traffic control center for the countless number of web tools, podcasts, videos, technical guides. The list is endless. So making sure that farmers have a way to filter that information and drive towards things that they really care about. And lastly is the events calendar, a statewide system where folks can either add an event or see what's going on in their area. This will kind of scrape it from the broader web and then not only help farmers know what's going on, but also help support our ag staff in planning events from their perspective. A lot of times there's a lot of things going on concurrently, and you want to have as many people come to your events as possible. And so having that events calendar is a real leg up in planning.
So when it comes to the tech stack for this, we have a lot of architectural freedom. We have just a shell and is an opportunity for you to really put your fingerprints on how this can be developed. Our cost share library, we want to make sure that we're aggregating funding opportunities and using API. For our producer network, Explorer and our technical support directory, we would like geotagged maps of the state of Nebraska. So a producer sitting in one particular county can find those individuals and those resources available to them with the know-how of what's going on in their world. Our Educational resource libraries should be self-cleaning. We want to make sure that these resources are relevant and available and are prioritized based on the use of those who are using the website. Our events calendar, we would like dual input where you can manually input or you can web scrape. There are a lot of tools out there that you could utilize to help us bring all of this information into a one-stop shop. When it comes to look and feel, we can keep it pretty open. We want to make sure that people feel comfortable on this webpage and not overwhelmed. We want to make sure that everyone sees themselves in it. Nebraska is a diverse agricultural state with a lot of commodities. We want to make sure that we're representing all of that. When it comes to operational flow, we'd like this to be self-sufficient through its workflow because we're not going to always have access to you. And we've also are investigating the use of a tag management system. And so we would love to see your perspective on that and what other creative ideas you could bring to the table.
So at the end of the day, what we're asking is for your help. Help us drive this real world impact, not only for producers, but agronomy and natural resource staff across our great state. We want to empower thousands of these land stewards to both share and adopt profitable, sustainable practices.
Thank you for your time and consideration of this. We look forward to the opportunity to work together to continue to move forward the great state of Nebraska and their agricultural community.